Yo, 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 it's Apache Chief here with a review of Wonder Woman 1984. Wow, I don't know what to say. Um, I saw the movie once, and I didn't want to see it again. I just wanted to basically have a first impression, and then I watched a lot of YouTubers make their videos, and I was like, wow, they saw stuff I didn't see. But of course, let's let's go to Gal Gadot. I thought what she did with what she was given and who she is. She makes a great Wonder Woman. She is the Angelina Jolie of her time. Um, so no matter what Gal Gadot does, I like. Just because when I used to like, Angelina Jolie, I used to watch anything she does. Can't do that anymore, but that's how I kind of feel about Gal Gadot. She's a new Angelina Jolie, and whatever she does, I like it. And that should give you an idea of where this is kind of going. I like this actress, you know, and I saw this movie, and there were parts of it I enjoyed, and then there's issues. Chris Pine, love Chris Pine, mostly from just the Star Trek series, and I know a lot of people don't have great ideas or opinions about such a movie, but nonetheless, I do like his iteration of Kirk, and it was funny and it was entertaining. So, and I like him in this movie. And he did what he could do with his part. Pedro Pascal, no words need to be said. He's the Mandalorian. People love him. I hear he's a pain behind the scenes, but it is what it is. And Pedro Pascal's Mandalorian. I liked him as Maxwell Lord. Yeah, let's do it. Um, Kristen Wiig, uh, Cheetah. I thought she did good. I don't have a problem with her. From what I know of her, is she's a comedian from Saturday Night Live. I didn't check out any of her works or anything else that she's done. Um, but I'm not disappointed with her impression of Cheetah or the character that she was portraying. So, my initial feelings on the movie. Well, I guess when I saw the trailer, I guess the trailer saw my first impressions were like I saw Wonder Woman in the golden armor and the winged armor, and I was like, the conspiracy theorist, the theologian in me, the I was like, oh, well, more tribute to some Nephilim stuff, you know what I mean? But I'm like, hey, she's a magic character. She's from legend. I'm like, okay, maybe there might be some leading to Hawk Girl or something. I was hoping for that, but then I said, this is DC, and as much as I love DC, I know sometimes DC sacrifices reality for its writing, and vice versa. So, and then of course, we have delays and reshoots, and of course these things plague films. Of course, we have the pandemic, and movies have always basically suffered reshoots, but we hear about it now because of the information age that we live in with computers, technology, internet. So it's made more apparent, and the fans basically can voice their opinions more, and this is fine. We live in America, or at least I do, for the ones who are watching this, and I don't have a problem with that. People are allowed to voice their opinions. Uh, so yeah, my initial feelings say, yeah, it was gonna suck. It was gonna suck. But this is a DC channel, and I still like DC characters. I love DC characters, and I love Wonder Woman. Always have Linda Carter, from the comics, you know, from cartoons, So I am just a fan of the Wonder Woman concept. The uh, the ambassador for Themyscira donning the the American colors, the stars and stripes on her body armor, and basically, and the appreciation of that body armor. All right, so those are my initial feelings on that. I covered my trailer impressions. You've covered my defense of the film so far, and now 1984, the age, the timeline itself. Right? Wow, 1984. Well, it doesn't. The movie didn't have any 1984 type of soundtracks that were really like, besides how does it feel, and I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't move me. Soundtrack didn't move me. No 80s music. No 80s clubs. No, it was just bland. The mall scene, but that's another story. It's like I think I think what they were trying to leave with 1984 is maybe the book 1984 for the bleak time that we're kind of living in. I think that maybe that's one of the reasons why they threw in that. I think it was more subliminal because these movies kind of do that. So from what I've noticed, and they sneak in a lot of symbology in these movies, and they're definitely gonna do it in Wonder Woman, and it's the kind of character that you could. Um, so yes, as far as the title, I felt that it was more subliminal messaging than anything else than the actual timeline. Yes, obviously there is continuity errors created with placing her in that time. Uh, People say that there was a political ramification to the movie when she was going around the world. And some people talked about an Orange Man bad kind of thing related to Pedro Pascal. Yes and no. Yes and no. Besides just playing with the hair and maybe being a little theatrical. Um, but I give that to his acting, and again, he just kept repeating the same lines because they didn't give him much. Um, but this is what happens when you have a Marvel actor in a DC movie. Sometimes elbows rub the wrong way, I think, because these things happen behind the scenes a little bit, but we'll come to that again. Uh, Now, a lot of people have the problem with the rapier scene. Basically, uh, Wonder Woman basically taking the rapier of another man and basically placing it inside of her with no regard for being a heroine. You know, uh, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I like Gal Gadot. If she wanted to basically stick a rapier in me, I don't have a problem. You can stick a rapier in me, Gal Gadot, anytime. Um, I still like this movie because of you. So, are there's, is there a, how can I say, and there's the esoteric feeling to the movie, a dim Illuminati type aspect to the film. Always, the young Diana showed this. It showed an aspect of basically, you know, little girls misbehaving, lying and cheating. Um, that scene when that opened up, that whole big thing, and then I also heard like behind the scenes there was you know they had to use the Amazons. They wanted to use the Amazons, so they put them in the movie. But again, I heard that Patty Jenkins wanted two openers for this movie, so she ended up having two openers to this movie to her detriment. So yeah, that didn't work, but that scene showed me that basically they were going to darken uh darken the image of Wonder Woman, and DC does that now. You have all these dark versions of these Justice League characters, and we see this also in the boys. So there is their underlying theme of taking our characters and darkening them up. Um, and again, it works, but again, showing it to a little girl coming from an ancient Scythian culture, because there is, like they say, that most scholars say that the Amazons didn't exist, but the closest thing to them on Earth in history is the Scythians or the Scythians. And basically, Amazon actually means like, one breast. And I've basically did some uh, research that basically some of these women basically used to mutilate themselves, in the ritual of becoming, an Amazonian warrior. So sometimes they were, the removal of one breast or both. And apparently that seems to be a big deal too, um, in some other series. But apparently, it's just like, I think that a young Diana in that time in a true warrior culture, she would have been very, very harshly punished, being young or not, coming from a warrior culture such as that. So that may have not been too good. It probably would be in the rated R version, or probably something that was deleted. Um, so, Cheetah. My thoughts on Cheetah. Initially, her transformation. I liked it. I liked where she was going. I liked the nerdy chic, you know, that she was. Throughout the movie, I enjoyed the clumsy, the I'm saying, the clumsiness. Again, sometimes, us guys, we don't want always a super smart girl. You know what I'm saying? We like the unawkward girl. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a problem with what, Kristen Wiig portrayed again, uh, with uh, with her character. Uh, I liked it. I thought it was cool. She wasn't bad. And then when she transformed, was the CGI a little weak? Was the costume a little weak? But I mean, what are you expecting? Expecting Thundercats from Chitara from Thundercats? But that would have been better. I think maybe some people would have liked that. Something more high end, sleek. I wouldn't have mind seeing the original cheetah costume from like the cartoon, where basically they still may retain her beauty. But they gave you the monster, and basically, Diana fights monsters. No. Uh, do I, what did I see this movie for? Since I knew it was kind of gonna be bad, because basically Hollywood has, a problem of putting out these kind of movies now, for some particular agenda or another. I went to see the movie for The Love Affair, because I knew I wanted to see the Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman love affair. And Chris Pine did absolutely wonderful with that, and I love seeing that, and I love seeing, and there was a couple of tearjerker moments. And I didn't want to see the movie a second time because I didn't want to spoil those tearjerker moments that I had, because that, at least I came away with something, and maybe a lot of people didn't, but I came away with that, knowing that I came into this movie expecting to see this. Uh, I knew, like I said, it was going to be bad. Kind of already felt it, because the history of just the latest movies that come out in Hollywood now. Um, this did this turn out to be the last Jedi of the Wonder Woman now supposed trilogy? Yes, this is the last Jedi of the Wonder Woman supposed trilogy. The first one was good. Force Awakens, was kind of cool and stuff like that. It had its mistakes. The first Wonder Woman was cool. It had its issues, but I was cool with it. Um, and then the second one, yeah, this one is plummeting down. Uh, but the Wishing Stone, as also the movie, it kind of its movies a little bit of its detriment, can also save it because you don't know who's wishing for what. So again, it can be your right in, your writer's way in, and your writer's way out. Uh, so and besides, uh, that I thought the movie, was still all right. I was not totally dissatisfied with what I saw. You know, uh, there was some level of displeasure, but there were some things that I can just simply, cancel out. Now, also, I heard that some people have a problem with Gal Gadot. There was a race and religion issue, you know what I'm saying, with the movie in certain countries and certain parts of the world due to basically certain actors' ethnicities. Well, this is the world that we live in, unfortunately. You know, until we get under God, indivisible for liberty and justice for all, in the whole entire world's mindset, then we're gonna always have problems. Uh, and that's unfortunate. Now, what I felt also, like I said, the writing is the initial, I think, problem in this movie, besides a lot of bad CGI and bad editing. But I think it also depends on, the writing cast. The writing cast for the first Wonder Woman movie was Alan Heinberg, which, he has a lot of works, under his belt. You know, and then again he works on like female oriented shows like Sex and the City, but he has a very lengthy you know uh, career underneath and lines of work that are quite reputable. Zack Snyder, that speaks for itself, but he's in and out of the game. He had some family issues, in the past. So, you know, Zach is good, but he's also, just like any other guy, hit or miss sometimes, Sometimes he makes great stuff, sometimes he makes bad stuff. You know, we men can admit that we are not always producing the great stuff. Uh, and then there was Jason Fuchs, which I absolutely had no idea who this guy was, but he's a relative newcomer, but he's got a couple of films under his belt. Pan, Ice Age, It, and Flipper, the fish. You know what I'm saying? The dolphin. Mm. Wonder Woman 2, the writers group was Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns, I feel, is great for, of course, comics, novels, uh, and like, a good television series episodes. When he's on films, again, hit or miss. He's on that Snyder level. You know what I mean? But he's relative to the comics. And then we had David Callahan. Now I didn't know who David Callahan was either. I researched him a little bit. He has Into the Spider Verse, Zombieland, uh, the Doom movie with Kyle Urban. I like Doom. I thought Doom was cool, and he the one or two of the Expendable movies. So not too bad, but these are also not great movies. I'm not too big of a fan of the Expendable movies, but I watch them. But it's not something that you know, these old '80s, and '90s up and coming, action stars in a group, in a big large group, cool, but it didn't resonate with me. Um, and that's fine for those who like that kind of stuff. More power to you. There was a moment that I was there, and now I'm not. Um, and yeah, I think that is the issue. But my speculation is, I believe something happened with the writers team. Could I see basically, again, this is conjecture. Can I see Patty Jenkins basically maybe rubbing elbows in the wrong way with Jeff Johns? Yeah, which is the link. And then you have David Callahan, which is tied to more Marvel projects. Hmm. Whenever I see Marvel and DC groups or writers, and I can always imagine what's going on behind the scenes with these two giant companies and the people that they hire. Uh, I've worked in theater. I've seen basically things happen behind the scene. I've seen people get together behind the scenes, mm, and then I've also seen certain rivalries between, actors, directors, and film companies, and so on and so forth. And I believe that there is where the issue lies. And once again, there is the problem. Uh, my thoughts on Wonder Woman on a 1 to 10 scale. Yeah, I'll give it like a 6.5. I'll give it a 6.5 on a 10. On a 1 to 10 scale. And that's my review. And Apache Chief, is great to be back, and I hope everyone stays well. And be good, stay positive, and be love each other. And let's love our films, and let's basically let's get through this together. And once again, it's nice to see you all.